The next morning, Amara returned to the riverbank, her heart pounding with a mix of hope and fear. The old woman, Nyahunda, awaited her, appearing even more otherworldly in the early light. Her robes shimmered like dew-kissed leaves in the sun. She greeted Amara with a knowing smile. "I see the fire in your eyes," Nyahunda said in a rich, melodic tone. "But fire alone is not enough. You must learn to wield it." Nyahunda's lessons began with skills rooted in the traditions of their ancestors. She taught Amara how to purify water using baobab bark and charcoal, to craft irrigation systems from hollow bamboo, and to weave intricate fabrics that carried the stories of their people. She shared wisdom about healing plants, the neem for cleansing wounds, the moringa for strength, and the hibiscus to ease pain. True strength lies in what you can do for your people, Nyahunda reminded her. At first, Amara struggled. Her fingers fumbled while weaving herbs with her under the scorching sun, and her irrigation channels collapsed more than once. Each failure stung, especially when Nyahunda observed her silently, her expression as steady as the mountains. Again, the old woman would say each time. Months passed, and Amara's persistence began to bear fruit. That year, the harmattan winds blew harder than ever, the fields cracked under the sun, and the village well ran dry with determination burning in her chest. Amara approached the elders with an idea she had learned from Nyahunda's system to collect and store rainwater. Though skeptical at first, the elders eventually agreed. Together, they built a simple but effective rainwater harvesting system. When the first rains came and filled the reservoirs, the villagers' joy was as loud as the beating of festival drums. One farmer, Babarudo, clasped Amara's hands. "You have saved us. Child, you are no longer just the girl in rags. You are a blessing." But not everyone welcomed Amara's newfound respect. Her aunt, Chisimo, and her daughters, Abu and Chika, grew increasingly resentful as the villagers praised Amara. "She is trying to make us look useless," Abu grumbled one evening as they gathered under the old mango tree. "Nonsense," Chisimo snapped. Though her tight grip on her pestle betrayed her anger, "she thinks she's better than us. But mark my words, the people will see her for the fraud she is." Chika, the most cunning of the three, leaned in with a sly smile. "What if we give them a little push? All it takes is one mistake." Under the cover of darkness, Chika and Abu crept to the rainwater system Amara had built. They sabotaged it, loosening and breaking the irrigation channels with whatever farm tools they could find. By morning, water spilled wastefully into the soil, and panic spread among the villagers. Amara rushed to the site, her heart sinking as she examined the damage. Whispers rose in the crowd. "She doesn't know what she's doing," Chika said loudly, feigning concern. Maybe this was all just luck. Before the accusations could take root, Baba Udo stepped forward. "Nonsense. Amara is the only reason we even have water. This damage was not her doing." The villagers rallied around Amara, repairing the system in record time. Chika's plan backfired, and Chisimo's influence began to wane as the seasons passed. Amara's impact on Ontua grew. She introduced new farming techniques that doubled the harvest, organized weaving cooperatives for the women, and taught the children to read and write using simple lessons she devised with Nyahunda's guidance. Her vibrant fabrics, with patterns inspired by the earth and sky, became sought after in neighboring villages, bringing trade and prosperity to Ontua. One evening, as the villagers gathered to celebrate the harvest with drums and dancing under the moonlit sky, Amara stood quietly at the edge of the crowd. Chisimo approached her, her face unreadable. "I do not know how you have done it," Chisimo said, her voice low. "But it seems the village is better because of you." Amara looked at her aunt, searching for sincerity. "I only wanted to help," she said softly. Chisimo nodded once and walked away without another word. It wasn't an apology, but it was a start. Word of Amara's accomplishments reached King Abba himself, a ruler known for his wisdom and care for his people. The king summoned her to the palace, Amara spent days preparing, her hands trembling as she wove a fabric as a gift for the king, a tapestry depicting the struggles and triumphs of Antua. When she arrived at the palace, she was awestruck by its grandeur. The thatched halls were adorned with intricate carvings of ancestors, and the scent of hibiscus filled the air. King Aber, seated on a throne of carved ebony, greeted her warmly. "So, you are the young woman I have heard so much about," he said in a deep, resonant voice. Amara knelt before the king, presenting her tapestry. She spoke of her ideas, building better wells, creating communal gardens, and fostering trade through weaving. The king listened intently, his expression thoughtful. "You have a rare gift," he said finally, "leadership born not from power but from service. Unto it needs people like you." Amara's recognition by the king cemented her place in the village. Under her guidance, Untua flourished. Children who had once been too poor to dream now attended lessons in the evenings. Women who had struggled to feed their families joined weaving groups and earned incomes. The fields bloomed, and traders from far-off lands marveled at Antua's prosperity. Chisimo and her daughters could no longer deny Amara's success. Though they still harbored resentment, they began to treat her with grudging respect. One evening, as Amara sat around the fire, Chisimo approached her quietly. "You have done well, Amara. Better than I ever thought you could." Amara met her aunt's gaze and saw something she had never seen before: humility. "Thank you," she said softly. The years rolled on, and Amara's story became a legend. The villagers spoke of her as the girl who had risen from nothing to lead them to prosperity. On quiet nights, they said you could still hear Nai-a-Hunter's melody by the river, calling dreamers to rise above their struggles and change their world. Amara, once the girl in rags, had become the light of Antua, and though her journey had been fraught with pain and hardship, she proved that even the smallest spark could illuminate the darkest night.